I forgot to press live.
Oh.
Anyway, Shady Man, welcome. I don't know if you heard me before. Well, welcome back, Donnie. I'm gonna think of a name for Donnie. Watch. Before. Welcome back. Let's see if a couple more people come in, and we'll chit chat for a second, because I just wanted this live to basically support these families in Texas, and just, prayers and hearts in the chat when we start. I don't know. This is really bothering me, Dave. Really bothering me.
Well, what can you do?
It's just a sad situation, you know.
I was actually researching, the mass shootings and other stuff, including shootings, including suicides. The first mass shooting was by a 70-year-old in 1891. That was a school shooting. But it seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. In America with these mass shootings. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic or mental illness, but it's like I asked a question in Brittany's chat today. Your constitution effectively overrides anything the government can do. So how can they find a solution?
I know, Dave. It's just, I called my little man's school twice today just to make sure everything was all right. I mean, our schools here are locked down. But hi, hippie sissy. I love you, honey.
Hey, Dizzy.
Yeah. It's just really, really bothered me. Touches, just breaks my heart to even. I don't even know how I would cope, honestly. It's just so sad.
Well, I can understand owning guns, to protect the citizens and that's fine. But California recently had to strike a law down that said that under 21s could not own the AR-15s, the rifles, because it was deemed against the Constitution. Kids should be, 18s and that, should be out partying and doing college or just enjoying themselves, not carrying bloody weapons at that age. It's absolutely crazy. But that's America for you. But how did he get hold of the guns in the first place? That's the thing.
Put it this way, Dave. He's 18. He can have a gun before he even drinks any alcohol by law, and that's
Well,
the
that's
truth.
yeah, that's what who was it? Somebody said in Brittany's chat. You can't drink till you're 21. Yet you can own a firearm at 18, and children are not like us adults. Their brains aren't developed. It's a terrible situation for the families involved. But these pro-gun groups have got to take some responsibility for what's happened. That mass shooting. What was it? I think it was 22, 23 dead. That's 23 wasted lives. It's a horrific thing. It's more horrific for the kids that were seeing the shootings as well. You see, they've got to live with it for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I wanted it. I know it. I don't know everybody. Hi, Ken. How are you? Um, I
Do you
wanted
see
to
that?
do this live because yeah, we may not know these children or these families, but it does affect people around the world.
Oh, undoubtedly. But you see, the thing is, if you go, I mean, there's a lot of countries, including the UK, you can own a gun in the UK, but they're regulated to such an extent that they're actually a lot of the normal guns you've got over there. You couldn't own an AR-15 here. You couldn't own a Smith and Wesson, for example. They're regulated by they're actually gas powered, and you've got to fire them. You've got to be a member of the group. Even air pistols now here and air rifles are regulated by the police. We have to get a license for them, partly because of what happened in Dunblane. But if you look at all the rest of the countries, you look at Sweden, Finland is on a par with America for having the most guns per capita, per person. And I don't think they've had any gun violence for many, many years. Germany, you could purchase any type of gun you want, but you can't carry out in the open, and you
Yeah,
must
I don't.
shoot at
I see.
specific
I don't
ranges.
really know the any gun laws really. In what all I know is you can purchase one at 18. I don't really know many details about it. Maybe Hippie Sissy could tell you about the gun laws in the United States because I really can't. And uh, Ken said hi, Dave.
I can. I did
Hi,
see you in there,
Selena.
but you
Hippie
see,
Sissy, I missed you. I love you.
well, here's the difference between European gun laws and American gun laws. You can't own a firearm for a year. You have to go on so many courses. That's ethical courses, even up to the point where why do you want a gun? And they can still refuse you. You have to go through full psychological uh, report, um, and even then, you can still be checked by the police even after you get the certificate to own a gun. Now, in America, you can virtually pick one up in as little as I think 3 days with, or so many weeks with a check. But you got so many guns out there. There's over 1 billion guns out in America, and even if you could make them illegal, all those guns out there are going to be used for criminal activity anyway. So so you can't win. You see?
Exactly. Well, I'm gonna do a 3 minute moment of silence where we're not gonna talk, but I want you guys to flood my chat room with hearts and everything for these families. It's so heartbreaking, man. Can we do that for a minute, Dave? A moment of silence for these kids
Yes, certainly.
and families. All right, let's show the chat room some love and support and for these families. Here we go. Okay, I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Um, I just thought that was very important that maybe we do that. Dave, will you talk for a second? I'm gonna go outside on the porch.
Okay, I don't know what to talk about. But, but yeah, it is quite dark down here. Hey,
I have
71.
a to do. I'm back, Dave.
Okie doke, that was quick.
Yeah. Um. Sorry, you guys. I just thought doing that would be a good idea. I'm really bothered by this, really bad. Not bothered, but my heart breaks for these families and these
Yeah,
poor little kids.
we had the Dunblane massacres, which has essentially changed the law on guns here, and that's going back 20 odd years ago. It was where a guy who was unbalanced, he took a gun into a school, into a what we call junior schools, which are no, was it junior schools? Well, he took a gun into a school and he just started firing, and well, I mean, he committed suicide in the end. No one knows why he did it still, but and unfortunately, the lad who shot all those students, unfortunately, we'll never know why he decided to do what he did.
Exactly. Well, hi 71. Hi love. Thank you guys for all coming in and stuff. Um, well, uh, anyways, how's everybody today? I hope
Oh, flipping
everybody's having a good day. It's just pure evil, and unfortunately, we will never be rid of the evil. Amen, dippity do. I totally agree. Agree. Mental health is there. Was more awareness, it might have been spotted. Exactly, Donnie. And the thing is he actually, uh, from allegedly, he actually was posting pictures of guns and stuff and tagging them to the kids in school or the how can it his classmates, I guess, at the high school, and it's just unfortunate.
Well, that's another thing. Social media by law should report it. I don't know if there's a law in the states where it's automatically flagged.
I have
But
I couldn't tell you, Dave. Here,
I mean, over here, they're possibly bringing in laws that if some kid brandishes a gun or a makeshift gun or something like that, it's automatically flagged to the police. Social media and films are a lot to blame. You can't blame video games because there's no scientific link between violence and playing violent video games, for example, or shooting games.
exactly. And another thing is, you would think that his family or someone, kind of close to him would see it, because if someone's gonna do that, they had to have some kind of change in actions or emotion before it happens. You know what I'm saying? Any signs? Uh, I just it. I just cannot even imagine this happening to any. I mean, it's unfortunate Texas had to go through this, but now we've got to all learn from this experience, I think, when it
Yeah,
comes
but
to
I
mental
mean,
health.
look at Colorado with Sandy Hook. you didn't. America didn't learn anything from that. Look at all the other mass shootings within, say, the last 20 years. You see, the trouble is, you've got groups like the NRA, and you've got all these left wing and right wing groups that support guns. I mean, I support owning a gun. If somebody broke into here, I'd smash the hell out of them because I haven't got a gun. But I support owning a gun if somebody tries to break into your place. In fact, uh, there was a case where a guy stabbed a burglar to death in London. Now, really, he was actually charged with murder. We don't have first or second degree murder cases here. It's just plain murder. And because there was such a public outcry, because the burglar broke in and he was aggressive anyway, they dropped the charges. But you still you can't even defend yourself to the point where you'll kill a person within the house, even in this country. You can't take anything out with you. You can't take a knife. You can't take any sort of weapon here out. Unlike the states and in there's two other countries that are like the American Constitution. I think one's Sri Lanka and one's Mexico. And if you
And
look at
another thing, even here where I live, to go like into the convenience stores, you have to leave your if you have a backpack or any of that, it has to be left outside. That's when you go into a convenience store anywhere. You can't carry a backpack. You can have your purse, but backpacks and stuff. Hi, JD. How are you, love? Welcome. Thank you. You guys, can you randomly put hearts and prayers every once in a while in chat for these babies and families, please, as we're talking? I would greatly appreciate it. But
I think I think what you need to do in America is you need to spend less on your military and more on mental health services because America spends more money on the military than anywhere else in America and anywhere in the European Union, the UK, even some of the Middle Eastern countries. If everyone had a right to free mental health care in the US, that would be a start. I mean, it won't save these poor buggers, and it won't save the previous shootings. And if everyone opened up about, the kids being bullied and there were support groups for parents of kids being bullied and stuff like that, I think it would go a long way to halving. It will never stop, but it would halve um, these shootings. Maybe not by adults, but certainly by 18 and unders.
see, that's what scares me, you all, is as you know, my little man gets bullied. Even the I was listening to the news. Even some of the classmates said he was acting weird, and they one of the boys had said he used to be his friend, and then I guess he was acting weird or acting out, and the boy didn't want to be involved in that. So I don't know. That's what scares me about these kids that bully or get bullied. We got to stand up for our children. That's my opinion. You know,
Then
um,
anyone in America who's listening to this, who might be watching actually, not probably in the chat, make a difference. Start forming groups on Facebook. Start forming groups on Twitter. I don't know. I can't remember the rest of the social platforms. But do something.
Instagram, TikTok.
I mean, there's 30 or 40 platforms.
Yeah.
Start doing it on Face. Start doing Facebook lives about it. pull away from this all this drama bullshit that we're having in this community. Start networking with each other so when a live goes on, everyone's in there. Everyone can share a voice. Because if we don't, I mean, it could happen anyway. The next shooting could be in on your doorstep. It could be in the UK. Because I mean, there are still illegal guns here, but they're mostly in London, mostly in sort of like Northern Ireland, where a lot of IOA weapons are still getting circulated. You see,
Yeah, just like not too long ago, we had a shooting in Buffalo, in a grocery store.
that's it. Yeah, I remember.
It's like we're not, we need to all be together and, um, talk about mental health.
I mean, the
You,
crazy. I mean, the crazy thing is, you had Roe versus Wade. It was the abortion law. It was in the Constitution for almost 50 years. They're getting rid of that. So how come they can't? I know the law was ratified on guns, legally binding, and there's laws saying that you can't penalise a citizen and take the guns away in the states. Perfectly fine. Lock the buggers up so your kids can't get them. And if you carry, make sure you carry, but make sure it's a secure carry.
exactly, Dave. Hi, little bit. Welcome. Thank you for coming. And
Hi,
my
little bit.
other thing is though, Dave, I think this would make a difference too. And maybe that could be a topic on my live. We need to talk about mental health. There's not very many places you can get free mental health, and you have to pay for insurance. Now,
We don't.
if you don't have insurance, how are you gonna get help for your mental health? Am I making sense?
Yeah. I mean,
It's just horrible.
Sissy said she's classed as mentally ill, but she's got four guns in what's it? She's got four guns that are locked up. I think she said. But a few years ago, a lot of the states over there wouldn't let you have a gun if you were mentally ill. This is down to Trump because Trump said, "Well, the mentally ill should be able to own a gun." But when you're in a meltdown, say bipolar or schizophrenic meltdown, you don't know what the hell you're doing. If you're armed to the teeth with weapons, it doesn't matter if it's a gun or a knife or something, and you're psychologically not in the right frame of mind, and somebody upsets you, you're going to go nuts. And I don't mean that offensively, but it can happen. It's time that your Supreme Court took a stand and turned around and said certain things aren't allowed in in certain states. The only
Um,
trouble is, you got the NRA and you got all these left wing and right wing groups, and they scare the hell out of people, saying, "Well, if you don't own a gun and you get raided by armed assailants, that's your fault," and blah blah blah. It, it, it's um it's not always the case because armed invasions are very rare in the states. You see.
exactly. Hey, Irvin, you little fucker. Sorry, he said it, so
Hey,
I had to
Evan.
throw it back to him. Welcome, Chef. Thanks for coming and stopping by. We're just talking about basically the the incident with Texas, and we're just we had a moment of silence for the victims, 3 minutes, and we're just throwing up hearts and prayers for the families and just talking about it. So if anybody wants to come up and talk, I'll drop the link. Just let me know. Irvin laughs because I called him a little. I like Irvin. I like everybody a little bit. I love Shifty, Donnie, everybody that comes in here. I love, and I appreciate all your support. Believe me, and stuff. We're just thinking maybe I just don't understand how he got into that school. I can't wrap my mind on how it happened.
Well, there's one
Um,
report saying he rammed a car into the fence because it was apparently gated or something. And there's other rumours. There's uh, cameras of him in on the school grounds and all sorts.
yeah, like I said before, our school is totally locked down. Um, you have to be buzzed in to then they talk to you from the outside in a speaker, and you have to show ID to who you are before they'll even let you in. And I thought that was all around the United States since that the one the hook one. No,
Well,
he left the car outside. Yeah, I like everyone be
yeah,
nice.
yeah, I haven't caught a lot of the news today, so I don't know.
I homeschooled my son because of COVID this year, but his school has a buzzard at the door. Yeah, same as
I mean,
Jim's.
that's the other thing. It is how long is it going to take these officials to really sort something out before a lot of the parents actually do start home in their school because the fears of shootings.
And another thing is, why don't they hire like security that like stands at every door entry? You know what I'm saying?
Because I think it gets taken out of the school's budget. I'm not quite sure. I did read something on that. In some states, it comes out of the school's budget, not the actual federal budget.
Yeah, like where I live is hold on, there are cops all around the schools in my town. Yeah, a little bit. There see my our town is very small, very very small. And my little man goes to a small town school too. But still, if you think about it, this school in Texas wasn't very big. It just scares me. I had to call twice my little man's school to make sure everything was okay. I couldn't see a teacher without appointment in UK. We have buzzards and have to wear badges. Yep, spend less on military. You guys are. I'm liking this conversation.
You see, this is how safe the UK is. I mean, compared with how many police officers get killed in the States, we haven't had police officer killed for about 7 years here, and they don't carry guns apart from the a special type of police.
Can little bit? Can you even imagine that happening and going to your kid's school and not knowing what happened? If you know, I couldn't imagine going through that. I really don't. My heart really is just so broken for these families. I mean, as young as 7, 8, 9, and 10-year olds. That's the age of my little man, and probably some of your guys' children. I don't know how this can affect anybody.
It probably affects you a lot more in the US than it does anywhere else, you see. Because, I mean, here in the UK, we know we won't get another school. Well, probably will never get another school shooting. I'm not saying it will never happen,
It
but
makes us parents that our kids do go to school to want to homeschool our kids. You know what I'm saying? This
yeah,
is, oh, it's just crazy. Well, you're not even safe going into a grocery store because of look what happened in Buffalo. You're not, what is this world coming to? Babies running from the school to neighbor's house. No, I can't. No, me neither. A little bit. Mm,
But the trouble is,
oh man, and just can't know if you're gonna see your babies
I
again.
remember,
I just
I remembered JD about the Dunblane.
how can you say that, Dave? Nobody knows. Mine will be 6 next. Oh man, little bit.
Do you know if every,
So
I mean, if
go
every
ahead, Dave.
parent that was able to pull their kids out of every single school, and I don't know, there must be thousands of schools in America. You imagine if they put uh, 30 or 40% of the kids were pulled out of the schools until the government actually did something on guns. Local officials, and turned around and said, "Fuck what the Supreme Court says." Because you can actually get guns banned in America, but you'd have to get about 70% of all senators in both houses to agree, and then you'd need to get every single state with at least, I think it's 60% of people voting in favour of banning the guns. That's how restricted that policy would be. But the Rifle Association will turn around and say, all of them will turn around and say, well, you better arm yourselves up, because if you think there's a child with a gun, or you think there's a dodgy person, that's going to attack you, that's what they're turning around and saying now. So more guns are going to be bought. So you can't win either way in your country.
And another thing is, I also think that mental health should be free for everyone and not cost. I know that sounds silly, but obviously this evil person had some mental problems, mental issues and stuff. It's just these
But
families.
well, I mean, he could have been severely bullied and something made him snap when he was at school. At that
Yeah,
school.
they said something because he didn't graduate. That's what I think. There's more to it, though. Well, welcome back, hippie sissy love. It's
I,
just
th- I think if you support a raise in taxes, although it will affect the poor, that goes towards free mental health, it's an actual start, you see. And if they kept it up say they trialed it, so say it was in Wyoming, for example. If that was a success, and the other thing is, teachers don't take bullying seriously. That's it virtually in every country. If they were made to take bullying seriously and they saw the signs of a bully, that would also be a first. Because we've had a lot of bullying in this country where kids have been bullied, and then they join gangs, and now a lot of them are serving life inside because they've joined these gangs and they've gone out and attacked a person, stabbed them to death, for example. It's happened a lot in London. If they did a trial for the kids and they increased the spending by, I don't know, 60%, for example, and that was just on the kids, that would that would probably prove a huge success. And then if they extended it to adults as well, who have been through similar to you, through trauma and abuse, all sorts of abuse, that would prove a success as well. Because we got to remember, it's not only, I mean, school shootings are reasonably rare compared with mass shootings in, say, nightclubs and in, I don't know, uh, big institutions that you've got there.
exactly, and schools. are supposed to be a safe place for our children. Like I said, I called twice, and I they probably thought I was going nuts, but my anxiety was really bad. I needed to know my little man was all right.
Yeah,
And
you're probably not the first parent to actually ring him up a couple of times. I expect there's a few parents that have rang him up 10, 20 times to make sure everything's all right.
yeah, my sister says that I'm nuts, that it was in Texas, but that doesn't matter. I still want to make sure my little man was all right. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because sometimes this influences other people. Um,
I want to do something for all these families. I really do, but there's nothing I can do but pray and awareness, spread awareness for mental health and, so on. That's all we can really do. I get that a little bit, but mentally it won't help the child in later life. They won't know how to interact with others, could cause them to have issues. Yeah, like where I live, my little man has nobody to play with because our neighborhood, we live in the middle of sticks. Um, but it's just even letting your kids go out in your yard to play. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if you're safe going into a grocery store. What is society doing? It's just crazy and upsetting. Um, okay, let's take a minute of silence again, everybody, and show some hearts and some prayers just for a moment for these families. Can you all do that for me for a minute? Okay, I'm going to mute. Let's do this for these families and these kids. And all right, thank you guys. I want to read. We rarely hear of stabbing around NC. If so, it usually is a woman stabbing. The South love their guns. Candy, you never know. I never thought my son would have had asthma attack and die at 14. No one knows what's around the corner. Oh, Donnie, my heart goes out to you. Um, oh, I can't even imagine. I think losing a child is. I mean, I can't say I can't. I don't know what Donnie has went through, but I think that would be the worst thing in the world is losing your child before you go. That's my opinion only. Does anybody want to come up on panel and talk or say anything about the topic? You're all welcome to. Um, is there anything else you want to say, Dave, before I end this? Um,
um,
Sorry, the day.
just
Exactly. Oh,
if it's, but
don't.
I mean, for you guys in the States, which is a feeling here tonight, spread awareness about it. Do a page on mental health issues, for example. Do anything you can think of, to raise awareness that things have to change because if they don't, you're going to find more kids like those in Texas are going to lose their lives. Even if you have to go to your senator or your governor or what or the mayor, write him a letter and just say, you know, this can't, this can't go on. We have to find solutions. And if you're in favour of guns, just say we need to have solutions on the best way of protecting the kids from the guns. Putting
Well,
them
if
in the
well, if
cabinets would be a thing.
yeah, well, Dave, if you think about it, that's what YouTube is. YouTube's bullying, and you don't know what bullying, and even if it's not in person, you don't know what if someone's getting bullied on YouTube. You don't know what that person's gonna do. We need to stop the bullying on YouTube. Also, my mom lost my brother when he was 6. Um, form of cancer. I was 11. My baby brother was 3. Oh, hippie, I'm so sorry.
What we need to do is start networking with each other. So instead of having just, I don't know, maybe we've got in here tonight, and maybe we got 7. What we need to do is, at the moment, we need to get hold of people like CJ that can get pull in 100 people. We need to get MJ. We all need to work together and go live at different times, and we need to discuss this issue. So if anyone's been severely bullied throughout their lives, whether or not it was at school or through family members or something like that, if we can get them to open up, it's a start. And if we can find individual ideas that might prove effective, like taking it to your local mayor, whether or not it's here in the US, here in the UK, or there in the USA, or in, or if we get people that come in, say from France or something, it'll be a start. It's no good sitting on our hands and doing absolutely sweet FA about it. We need to
Yeah,
nip this in the bud, and we
well,
need to nip it in the bud now. So we need to network by talking to each other either through email or on Facebook or wherever, whoever shares their platform with others. Bring this idea to the table. Start getting the numbers in on each live.
now with me, I I don't carry because no, I don't carry. But my thing is, I was bullied all through, growing up and younger as I even now, and I would stand there and let them if they. There's a couple times I've gotten the shit beat out of me, and I wouldn't do nothing. I would just stand there. I've been made fun of all my life, and I think if we all come together and maybe talk about mental health, I just wish YouTube would change with the bullying. If you don't like each other, just don't talk about each other. That's simple as that.
Yeah, but
Um,
the trouble with that is you got the avocado, for example. Now, on her live the other day, she was virtually saying, well, there's a few creators that, and she was virtually saying this in no uncertain terms to her subs. Go out and find out absolutely everything about them. That was virtually her words. Now, your records are far more open than what the UK's is. I couldn't find JD's address, for example. JD couldn't find my address because that's how closed the records are. But you imagine you got an absolute psychopath amongst those subs of the avocados, for example. that person will take it as if I got to go out and kill that person or do serious harm to him. And she's got a live tonight that's virtually saying, I can do what I like. You got Dorothy that stirs up the biggest amount of crap there is. And even you said she keeps mentioning you to wind you up. You got grannies watching that will stir up crap and lie through her teeth. And then of course you got an NC. She might not be on YouTube, but her followers, as soon as she's not about, will go into the avocados, for example. They're the people we need to get rid of. They're the people we need to see banned. And that's what another thing about this platform. It's not easy to report someone. YouTube needs to be accountable at times, and YouTube needs to make it easier to report people. That's one of the things that gets up my nose about YouTube because you can't really report them, and even when you do, 9 times out of 10, they're not held accountable. They're not banned. And as you've seen with NC, she's been banned in what, something like 7 or 8 times until they caught up with her. They're the problematic people. It's not CJ. It's not Little Bit. It's not you or me. It's not Jura. It's not really the DeLorean. It certainly isn't Britney. You know, an MJ, for example, because they don't stir up the pot to get everyone riled up and do stupid things for them.
71, exactly. I wish I could afford one just to protect my family, but I'm the very, I don't care, people can run with this. I have very low income.
Exactly. That's what they should be. When you're in the house and you've got kids in the house, they should be locked up, and that should be the damn law. But the trouble is, how do you govern the law on private housing? How do you make sure that every single person in your state locks their gun up? You can't. That's the problem. And it's the same with every single country. I mean, you can see I'm getting riled up. But it's a fact. If they can take your rights as a woman away, on the Roe versus Wade, which was a constitutional right for 50 years, they should be able to do something about these fucking guns. Maybe what they should be doing is the police department should say, why don't we have an amnesty? So everyone can put in, big lockers or one of those big, what do you call them? Uh, big bins where they can throw the guns away. Whether or not they're illegal guns, whether or not they've been used in criminal activities. If you don't want a gun anymore after, all these shootings, you should have a right, without being fearful, to throw your gun away and then be destroyed. That then saves them getting out on the street.
Hippie knows my situation now. I wish I could afford a gun. I mean, it would be locked up and, you know, but um, there's no way I could do that right now. And that's another thing that scares me because, to be honest, I don't feel safe because anything can even happen in a heartbeat. And I don't even got a knife or nothing to protect myself, but I just
Yeah,
can't
but
do it right now.
there,
Um,
there was a thing I was reading. um, and it was was it a Swedish report? If you have bells, not bells, flipping those a lot, those bells with the with closed circuit TV, you know the ones I mean, and you have an alarm on your place, and you have closed circuit TV that say you have one facing the entire backyard, for example, and two at the front. Apparently, the chances of somebody coming up to your property, and this can be any in apparently any country, is minimal because no one wants to get caught on camera committing a crime. You're far,
Exactly.
yeah, you're,
Sorry.
you're far better off getting security cameras and all that.
Now that's something I do need. We had actually up the road from me, just a strange person went in and had a knife, and I mean the lady survived, but still, you know, I where I live, I wish I had cameras and stuff like that, but I can't afford that. Yeah, the TV programs are very careless. We don't do that.
I
It's
mean,
just
there's got to be something fundamentally wrong with American society because there was a thing, and it's on YouTube somewhere. And I can't think of the bloke who did it, but he was a senior psychologist. You have the most serial killers in the world. You have at least 1,500 operating at any one time in the United States, compared with possibly six in the UK. I know we're a lot smaller country. We're only, what is it, 62 million people compared with 347 million in the US. And then you've got all the shootings, and you've got, you've got a high number of suicides over there. There's got to be something that's got to change it. And like you said, unless you fundamentally want it to change, it won't do.
exactly. And when my old man's not home, I'm home by myself. And I mean, anything could happen, anything. And there's nothing I could do if someone wanted to hurt me like that. You know what I'm saying? What am I gonna do? You know. But I really like the butterfly knives. A little bit.
I mean, the likelihood of you getting attacked in the sticks is quite rare. Actually, in America, it's like up here.
Oh, it happens. We just had a stabbing down the road from where I live. It, just because it's a small town, that's what they look for. Is basically it's a small town. Because if you think about it, if they go to the city, there's more people just to see what happens. If you're somewhere where there's small, residents, a small case of or whatever, a small town, there's not going to be very many people that could, you know, catch what you're doing. Am I making sense?
Yeah, and I mean the other thing you got to remember is there's a lot of inequality in the justice system. I mean, if you look at it from say 25 years ago, a black man would get 30 years for an armed robbery. Now, in the same circumstances, if a white guy or a Hispanic, for example, committed the same offence, they would get lesser years. This is why there's a big build up and a lot of anger amongst the black community because the black community, I mean, we're all highly intelligent individuals, but they're picked on more in the United States. They are given heavier sentences. And that can be for any offence. That can be from I don't know, stealing a loaf of bread, you know, to a murder. That's got to change as well.
See, Little Bit even said, "Hi, Irvin. We're talking about right now.
The
With
Texas
me,
church.
we just had a stabbing up the road for me, and we're just talking about me not having protection. Basically, society needs to change. Exactly, exactly. It's like I said, you can go buy a gun, but yet you have to be 21 to drink. You know."
Trouble is, the government can't do anything if laws stop it from doing it, and that's exactly what happens with the United States because your constitution was set up primarily to stop a tyrannical government from taking over and treating you like the British did when they were running the UK, running America in the 17th, what was it, 18th century. That's why you all raised up and kicked our asses out of America.
I just need to figure out. I need to at least get. I mean, cameras wouldn't be bad, especially when I'm um here by myself. With little man. I need to get cameras and have a knife or something. You know what I'm
Well, you've got
saying?
kitchen knives. Kitchen knife
What
is
was
just as effective as switchblades or anything like that.
I can't even cut a piece of meat with my kitchen knife. They're duller than hell.
No, but any assailant that comes in doesn't know that.
Well, yeah, you have a point. Now I'm scared to even be alone. That's just awful. Ooh, I got 114 that subbed. Well, thank you, all 114 of you. I appreciate it. I love Irvin, don't you, little bit? He's so kind. Oh, protection as in guns or knives. I don't have either one.
Or just flashing.
Yeah, Irvin, that's a dirty bird. That's so funny. Little bit. I love you. I'm so glad to see people joining my live.
Yeah, we got 8 in at the moment, so
Yeah, all I want is to get to 500 so I can post stuff. And can anyone tell me how? Okay, I figured out how to mod a few people, but I forgot how to mod, and I need at least need a couple more mods.
uh,
Um,
you go into Facebook, click on who you want to mod, and then it will say mod, eject, kick out, time out, blah blah blah, and then you just click the mod
okay,
action.
Irvin, would you mind being a mod for me? If I get a community post, it'll be all over. Yes, it will. You dirty bird. That's so funny. That is the funniest thing. Yeah, YouTube, not. I'm really enjoying being here, Candy Kisses. I've not been around as much, but I'm enjoying being here. I'm glad. I'm glad you're enjoying being here. um, like I said, I don't want to get monetized or nothing. I just want the like like I feel like a loser because I can't post nothing about what happened in Texas and how I feel about it or respond to nobody. So that's why I went live. But still, that's all I want, and I don't care how long it takes. I won't kick you out. I promise. I will never kick you out. No. Um, what was I saying? I I have a brain fart. I don't know. I love timing Irvin out. Yes, Donnie, you do. Be nice, Donnie. Donnie, I'm gonna have to smack the shit out of you. No, I love you, Donnie. You're going live is just as good, girl. Thank you for the support. A little bit. Would you and uh,
Yeah, mod a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll mod a little bit. I'll sub with my alt. Oh, that's a good idea. Um, would you mind being a mod if I can figure it out? It, Urban says, Donnie, try. You guys are funny. Now, kids, do I have to put you in timeout? Grandma will be spanking some people soon. Banning guns won't help the situation. Guns will always be on the black market. Yeah, but Shady, I don't feel safe. Thank you,
Trouble
little
is,
bit.
you also have gun auctions which are legal in the states.
Yeah,
But
I
try and ban them, and the Supreme Court will turn around and say, no, you can't do that. But you see, you don't need when you go to court. Apparently, you don't always need to talk about the Second Amendment, which I think is about the right to for a militia, to carry guns or the citizens, because there's things called super laws, which protects the actual Second Amendment. You can quote any of those in a court of law, and that's just as good as the Second Amendment. See, I've been researching all this crap, so
Shady man, lock my doors. Well, that wouldn't really do good. I live in New York, put it that way.
well, lock your doors and then put a battery wire a piece of put a piece of wire to the actual handle to a battery, because when the little devils go and turn the doorknob or the door handle, they get quite a nice shock.
Dave, little man said hi to you, but
How do, little man?
I have a little cat. Candy kisses forever. Well, I don't want my cat drives me nuts because it meows to go downstairs with my son, and then 2 minutes later it's meowing to come back up. So yeah, I'm enjoying my life. Like I said, I adore all of you. And if there's anything I could do for you, Irvin, a little bit, anyone that comes in here, I'll be there as much as I can if you ever need me. Pepper spray. Don't have none.
You can make it.
I fucking Urban. I like kicking cats also. Well, if you kick cats, I'll kick you. I'm just kidding.
Oh, don't kick a cat, Irvin. Don't never kick a cat, because the woman will
I think
the,
he's joking.
the
He
woman
says
that the
it
cat
feels
belongs to,
gold.
the woman that the cat belongs to will smack you back, especially if you accidentally kick her instead.
Oh,
Oh,
and I don't know if she's stopping in here. I want to also thank AJ for her donation today. I really appreciate it, AJ, if you listen to my live. But what are you guys doing for the rest of the evening?
absolutely nothing. 'Cause it's
Isn't it late? Is it late there, Dave?
yeah, it's 11:05 here.
Oh, that ain't too bad. I'm gonna mute because it's getting cold out here. I want to go back inside. Hold on. So talk to the urban and the inn a little bit for a minute.
Oh, I'm dumped in the deep end as usual. I imagine AJ's probably working actually.
Yeah,
No, Irvin's joking,
but
Donny.
but AJ, I'm just saying, I never got a donation like that before. Tomorrow, little man goes to the zoo tomorrow, and I wish I could go with him, but I can't afford to go because it scares me now letting him go with everything going on in this world.
Yeah, but just think of the peace and quiet you'll get, you see.
Yeah, but I would like to be there with him. You know what I'm saying, Dave.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wouldn't worry
I
too
would
much.
feel safer if I could go with him. That's basically what I'm saying. So, anything going around? Anything good up on the tubes? You know who I miss? I
And
miss Gen X. Yeah, Gen X or X Gen.
yeah, she's on holiday, I think, at the moment.
I know. I miss her. If anybody in here talks to her, tell her that Candy misses her. Um, I have a situation that I'm kind of going through, but I didn't want to ruin Gen X's vacation, so I'm going to wait until she settles at home when she comes back, and I will talk to her. Um, yeah, but anyways, I don't know. I haven't been around too much. It's getting well. I hope my chat never gets you in depression. I just like to talk about anything and just chat with people. Where are you from?
Who, me?
Who, me, Shady, me, or Dave? Probably not me. I sound like an old lady. I'm waiting for him to answer.
Oh, me.
Oh, I'm gonna slap you, Dave. I know what you're laughing at because I said old lady.
You're younger than me. Oh, me. No, originally I'm from Wiltshire, and I moved up here 17, 18 years ago. So officially I'm a Englishman in Scotland.
You know where he's from, Shady? He's a pain in my ass. That's what he is. But we're really good friends, huh,
Yeah,
Dave?
yeah, I'm like a cactus.
He just likes me picking on him. What is the cat got Urban's tongue, or did Donnie time him out again? Okay. Oh, that's you. I thought it was Carter. I try not to make this chat depressing. I really don't. 71 comes in here quite a bit. So does Donnie, Shalima. This is the first time I've seen Little Bit, so I'm happy. Irvin stops in when he gets bored, I guess. I'm just kidding. Not talking about this chat, YouTube. Yes, it is. Pain in the
Yeah,
ass. Yeah, yeah, Shady, you got that right. He is a pain in my ass. Yeah, I'm putting it mildly. I have a question.
yeah, go on.
Anybody in this chat room, does anybody know how to do backgrounds and what's the other intros? I've been asking everybody if they would do a couple for me, but it's not depressing at all. Urban is following me, tying him out. Little bit, I love you. Little bit used to be fun coming on here and escape, not anymore. Well, you all can come in here and escape if you want.
Yeah,
I usually go live around the round 4 or 5, and I usually go at least once a day, don't I? Lately,
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah. Well, I think anybody else want to start a conversation and talk about anything in here?
I
Let's get
mean,
Urban and Dave all riled up. I go wherever the fuck I want. That's too funny. I like you, Irvin. I really do. I like your sense of humor. That's what we need in YouTube is people like you guys.
What, two old farts?
What did you say,
Oh,
Dave?
listen, sort of the younger generation listen to two old farts.
Irvin, you won't get
Sorry,
blocked.
actually, two old wise farts, shall I say?
Yeah. Dave, what would you like to talk about? Shady wants to know what you want to talk about. Uh, Old man says you're being bad, Dave.
Oh, I'm always bad now and again.
Up to no good. Up to no good.
My old man says that Dave is up to no good all the time. But he says anybody that is around me is up to no good. He's your baby daddy. Can I be your baby
Well,
grandma then? Little bit. Can I be the grandmother for you? What the hell is Irvin talking about? Is Irvin from UK or is Irvin? Are you from the UK, hon?
no, we're not mad at it, but I think European citizens look at you lot and think you're nuts to have gun laws like you do. Because virtually every European Union country, you know, I know we're out of the European Union now, but governments overseas can impose laws relatively easy, whereas in America, it's quite difficult to bring in laws for virtually every different purpose. You see,
Yay! I'm little bit's grandma. Irvin, aren't you a mod for GW? Do you look at Americans as, oh, I'm so glad they are a part of us anymore? Okay. Irvin,
you got to remember, Irvin, all the America was made up of immigrants from every single country. You see, so essentially, you're not technically Americans. There's not one true American like you can say there's one true Brit or one true Northern Irish or one true Frenchman. That's the difference between European countries and America.
I
I think
just want to tell you guys are all amazing, and you guys, I really enjoy talking to you guys, and I hope you all return. Um,
but
it
saying
was
that,
awesome.
hang on. Saying that 71, you're no more free than what anyone else in any country is. You're no more freer. You've still got to abide by laws, whether or not that's not to kill a person. That's you've got to have insurance on a car like every other country. Um, you've got to have moralistically, every country's virtually the same. The only difference is you can carry guns out and about in America. Canadians can't. I don't think Mexicans can. You know, UK can't. That's the only difference.
71, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Um,
The only reason you've got the right to carry is because the gun legislators and you got the National Rifle Association and all that. They've been scaring you lot for years. 'Cause every country's virtually the same. The only difference is you can carry guns out and about in America. Canadians can't. I don't think Mexicans can. You know, UK can't. That's the only difference. 71, I agree with you. 71, I totally agree with you. to say, oh, make sure you got a gun and make sure it's on your hip because somebody could attack you, you're just as likely to punch somebody out. That's your reaction. If somebody comes up to you and they start flying fists, your first reaction, brain wise, is to protect yourself. You can do that just as easily. And in fact, somebody throwing fists around and that are only 2 feet away from you are more likely to strike you in the face than you could ever pull a gun out at speed. In fact, you're safer with a handgun than you are with an assault rifle because it takes time to take the assault rifle from your shoulder and aim it than it does with a gun, with an ordinary handgun. Yeah, you might like your home protection, but
Do
we're
you
just as
have a
protected here.
little bit? What? No, I don't have a ball bat. I know what you're talking. Nope, I don't own one. I, I. Do you guys think I'm overreacting about this situation? How I feel? Honestly? Do you think I'm overreacting where I
No,
don't feel safe anymore?
I think there's probably hundreds of thousands of parents in the US now that did the same thing as what you did today. In fact, there's probably parents that have pulled their kids out of school because of it.
Yeah, But the thing is, my family says I'm just overreacting. That I shouldn't worry about stuff like this. But anything. This is a small world. You wouldn't believe what happens. If somebody can go and do this to children, just imagine what they can do about anybody walking down the street.
Well, like I said, the main thing to do is start focusing on mental health because we don't know if that 18-year-old was mentally ill with anything. You see, we don't know whether or not he had problems at home. We don't know if he was bullied or anything like that. That's the thing. We have to get schools to take bullying serious to start with. And then the next thing is for kids who suffer from depression and stuff like that. We need to make sure, or you guys in the States need to make sure, that there are mental health facilities. And you've all got to start talking. Because I noticed that in the Bible belts, for example, and I know this has taken it away, but in the Bible belt states, your mostly abortions, for example, have been done through very religious families rather than prostitution or a kid whose parents aren't so religious, for example. That's all got to change. But your mental health is the main thing that all schools have got to take into consideration, and so have your mayors and so have your governors. So start taking a stand and start writing to your mayors. Don't just sit on your hands, because how do you know that the next school that's down the road from you, for example, 71, or you, Irvin, will be the next one that gets shot up to pieces and kids killed there? This is why I said we've got to start networking, and whether or not we're in the UK or in America or in wherever we are, get ideas going on the table and start pushing them to your mayors and your governors. Because this might actually start cutting down on the numbers of shootings you have, whether or not it's a school shooting by a kid or somebody that's in that, the Buffalo shooting, for example. And we can actually do it. There's millions of people on YouTube. There's millions of people on YouTube that are both American and English and other countries. The next shooting might not actually be in the United States. There might be some kid in Algeria influence. He goes in and shoots. or Sweden or Germany or Greenland, for example. This is why I said we've got to start doing something now.
Sorry, was getting a piece of paper.
I thought you were
Little bit, you
when
don't.
that ramp would go over then.
Little bit, you don't have to do this. You. That's not. But I do appreciate it. Dave, are you smoking?
I always smoke when I'm on.
I
I think I smoked about 10 cigarettes since I've been on.
little bit. When would you like me to email you, honey? Did they just make a? Yes, he did, Irvin.
Foreigners aren't allowed to be presidents of the United States, otherwise I'd come over and become a citizen and try for it.
I thought I had was muted. Donnie, can you write your email in the chat because I have to find the paper my email's on whenever you want. Girl, my boy's wanting to go outside, so I'm going to take him. But email me anytime. Little
Guns,
bit.
knives, and fists can kill. Farts can give you pink eye if you're not careful.
A little bit. Thank you for coming. And I just want to say that I think you're an amazing person. And I hope we can maybe build a friendship. And I hope I see you back in my chat and hug those babies and have them enjoy going outside to play because that's what every little child should do. But make sure you hug those babies for grandma. I think I'm going to end this. So I've been on for an hour. Donnie, did you write your email, Donnie? Did Donnie write? No.
Night, Donnie.
Night, Donnie. I'm sure we will. No problem. All right. Love you a little bit. Love you guys. Have a good night.
I shall catch you lot
I
later.
hope I see you again, Irvin. Oh, you only have one? Oh, I've got 5, well, 4.5, and I got number 8 grandchild on the way. 71, I love you, girl. And I hope to see you guys maybe tomorrow. Dave, thank you as always.
I know,
And I want to thank my mods too. Thanks. And I'm gonna try to figure out how to mod a couple. So you guys have a good night. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow on the same time, Dave. Is that good?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything tomorrow.
Okay. You guys have a good day and make sure you tell just one person something positive, and you never know, you might make their day. You're welcome, Shady. I hope you come back.
Okay.
Take care, and I'll talk to you later.
Laters.